Hey man, you know what's funny? Most guys think seduction is about tricks, about cheesy lines, about being someone you're not to win a woman over fast. So I asked AI not because I needed a gimmick, but because I was curious. I typed in, how do you seduce women fast? Expecting some corny one-liners or confidence hacks, but what came back? Man, it wasn't even about women, it was about you. It was about presence, self-control, scarcity, silence. The response shocked me, not because it was flashy, but because it was so simple, so sharp, and so psychologically deep. It flipped everything I thought I knew about attraction. It said, women are seduced not by effort, but by energy. The most seductive man is the one who doesn't chase, doesn't hurry, and doesn't need anything to happen. Let that hit. That's the opposite of what most guys do. Most men rush the interaction. They're outcome focused. They want attention, validation, or physical intimacy right now. And you know what that does? It kills mystery. It makes her feel hunted, not desired. But AI laid it down straight. Speed kills seduction. It's not about moving fast. It's about making her want things to move fast while you move slow. That's the art. Then it broke down the concept of tension. Not tension like conflict, but emotional tension. A woman wants to feel something she can't name. She wants a question, not an answer. The moment you become obvious, predictable, or too available, she categorizes you. You become safe, familiar, forgettable. But when you're calm, when you respond slowly, when you're present without being pressed, you create a vibe she can't explain. She starts leaning in, she starts doing more, and you haven't even said anything seductive. You're just showing up with masculine poise, and it hooks her. One of the craziest things it said was this: seduction is subtraction, not addition. Most men try to impress. They talk too much, try too hard, reveal too much too soon. But seduction, it's about what you withhold. It's about what you don't say. The fewer words you use, the more powerful each one becomes. The less you text, the more she waits. The less you reveal, the more she wonders. And that wondering, that's where seduction begins. You become a puzzle, not a presentation. And her feminine energy will always chase what it doesn't fully understand. AI then explained something that blew my mind. It said, to seduce fast, you must slow down her world. That's deep. Think about it. Women are overstimulated 24/7. Social media, notifications, guys in DMs, life moving at 100 miles an hour. So when she meets a man who slows things down, who speaks slowly, who holds eye contact, who pauses before he talks, he feels like peace. He becomes an interruption to the noise. And that contrast, that calm masculinity, it hypnotizes her. Because in a world of men trying to impress, the one who makes her breathe is the one she never forgets. Here's where it got wild. AI said, eye contact seduces more than compliments. That's right, not what you say, but how you look at her. Not creepy, not forced, just grounded, clear, unshaken. When you look at a woman like you've already seen who she is, like she can't shock you or throw you off, you create intimacy without a word. That gaze, that calm scan of her presence, it activates her on a primal level. It says, I'm not here to impress you, I'm here to observe you. That flips the switch. Now she's the one wondering if she's enough for you. It got even deeper. Seduction is when your presence speaks louder than your performance. That's power. Most guys don't get this. They focus on strategy, what to say, how to text, where to take her. But your energy is the seduction. If you walk in with low neediness, with emotional self-control, with an unbothered aura, you're already 10 steps ahead. You don't need to game her. She feels it. She senses your detachment. And that detachment, that I'm good either way vibe, it makes her curious. And curiosity is the fuel of attraction. Then came a hard truth. The fastest seduction is the slowest escalation. Read that again, because that's what flips the dynamic. If you rush physicality, she resists. If you hesitate slightly, pull back when she expects you to lean in, it triggers intrigue. Why didn't he try to kiss me? Why didn't he touch me? What's he holding back? That emotional gap becomes obsession, because now you're not predictable, now you're in control of your impulses. And that control, that restraint, it's the most seductive thing a man can display, because it says, I want you, but I don't need you. and that's rare. The AI wrapped it up with one last gem. Silence is louder than seduction when used right. That one stopped me, because silence used strategically is hypnotic. After a flirtatious exchange, go quiet. After you tease her, smile and say nothing. Let her fill the space. Let her feel her own desire. Don't overtalk. Don't overconfirm. Just be still. That stillness, that unbothered poise, it drives women crazy. Because they're used to men who rush in, who fumble, who chase. You hold the line. You let the moment hang. And now her mind is racing. Her body is responding. And you haven't moved an inch. So what did I learn from asking AI how to seduce women fast? I learned that fast doesn't mean rushing. It means being so grounded, so composed, so inwardly still that she feels something immediately. She feels magnetized, not by what you say, but by what you don't give away. That calm mystery, that confident stillness, that emotionally detached ease, it wraps around her, it pulls her in, and now she's chasing, wondering, leaning in. That's the paradox. You want to seduce fast, then slow everything down. That's what gets in her head. That's what leaves her breathless. AI also dropped something that punched me in the gut. The man who doesn't need the moment is the one who controls it. That's something most men never master. See, when you walk into an interaction thinking, I need to win her over, you already lost. That's weakness. She can feel that thirst in your tone, your eyes, your words. But when you walk in with the internal belief that you are the prize, that you're just here to vibe, not prove, you create a strange pressure, a magnetic confidence that she can't categorize. She doesn't know why she feels it, but she does, because now you're not seducing her, you're giving her a chance to seduce you. And that subtle reversal, game changer. The script even pointed out how women connect to emotional rhythms, not facts, and that's where most guys mess up. They try to seduce with logic. I have a great job, I treat you right, I'm different. Bro, no woman was ever seduced by a resume. She falls for the man who feels like a mystery, a vibe, an energy she can't place. The man who can walk away in the middle of a flirty moment and smile like he's already moved on. The man who doesn't fight for her time, but makes her crave his. This isn't about being cold. This is about being calm, and calmness in the face of desire. That's what flips the switch inside her. One of the boldest lines from AI was, every time you don't react, you become more attractive. And it's true. Think about it. A woman tests you, delays a reply, says something meant to provoke. The average man reacts, gets nervous, sends a paragraph, asks what's wrong. But the rare man, he breathes, waits, maybe doesn't respond at all. Not to punish her, but because he's not emotionally dependent on her behavior. That detachment creates a psychological itch. Why didn't he respond? Is he mad? Is he done? And now she's engaging with you in her mind, emotionally investing, even when you're silent. That's the invisible pull of seductive power. AI also warned against over-pursuing. Too much availability erases emotional polarity. That's one sentence most men need tattooed on their soul. Because seduction dies when a woman feels like she already has you. No tension, no anticipation, no chase, just boredom. You want to seduce? Don't be always free. Don't always say yes. Don't always be the first to speak. Let her feel the space. Let her earn the next moment. It's not cruelty. It's mystery preservation. And the more she has to wonder about you, the more she imagines with you. That imagination builds desire faster than any pickup line ever could. Then it got psychological. It said, a woman cannot be logically convinced to feel desire. It must be activated emotionally. That hit me. Because it's not about being good enough. It's about being felt, being sensed, being emotionally triggering, but in a grounded way. You flirt and then stop. You compliment and then go silent. You lead and then disappear for a bit. That up and down rhythm mirrors real attraction, tension, and release. You don't hand her emotional certainty, you hand her questions, and questions are seeds. They grow, they occupy space. And before she knows it, she's thinking about you when she's supposed to be focused on something else. The AI kept coming with fire. The less you try to seduce, the more seductive you become. That's the paradox, because most men try too hard. And every time you try, you signal that she has more value than you. But the man who walks into a conversation like he has nothing to prove, he's dangerous. Not in an aggressive way, but in a calm, sovereign, self-contained way. He's the storm behind the still lake. She sees it, feels it, and suddenly she's trying to decode your silences, trying to pull you in. And now, you're not seducing through effort, you're seducing through essence. Here's what blew my mind most, AI said. Seduction begins when she doesn't know where she stands with you. And that's exactly what triggers her deepest feminine energy, uncertainty. Not in a cruel or manipulative way, but in a playful and emotionally aware way. You don't text every day. You don't reply instantly. You show interest and then go quiet. You drop a compliment and change the topic. That tension makes her lean in. It opens the loop. And as we talked about before with the Zeigarnik effect, open loops make the heart race. They turn your presence into a story that keeps writing itself in her head. Then came the lesson that tied everything together. Seduction is not what you do, it's what your absence causes. And that hit me like a brick, because it's true. It's not about how smooth you are when you're there, it's about how loud the silence is when you're not. What does she feel when you leave the room? When you don't reply? When your name pops up but you're gone? That's the true seduction, the mark you leave behind, not the moves you make in real time. You become the man who haunts her thoughts, who lingered with her just enough to stay in her skin. And that's unforgettable. So I stepped back and thought, why aren't men taught this? Why are we trained to pursue, to explain, to overcommit? Simple, because the world teaches men to trade their power for validation. But what AI revealed is this. The fastest way to get a woman is to make her slow down for you. Not by force, but by stillness. Not by being flashy, but by being felt. And once you truly learn this, once you become the man who can flirt without attachment, lead without effort, and vanish without guilt, you won't need tricks, you'll have presence, and presence pulls. So here's the truth, brother. I asked AI how to seduce women fast, and what it said wasn't evil, wasn't sleazy. It was evolutionary, it was psychological, it was masculine. Slow down, speak less, observe more, don't give everything up front, create emotional contrast, hold your frame, be the calm interruption in her world of noise. Because in the end, women don't fall for what you say, they fall for how you make them feel. And if your energy makes her feel curiosity, safety, mystery, and just enough tension to keep her guessing, then congratulations, you've mastered seduction. And you didn't even have to say much.